Hey everybody, blessings and hello to you. I am recording because I want to share my early morning thoughts with you before anything else gets into my head. I slept on it and I've been doing a lot of thinking, a little bit of thinking in regards to Joe Biden's conference that he did yesterday. And, thinking about everything in general in relation to that and, the noise that's coming from mainstream media that has all of us engaging with mainstream media probably more than we would normally engaging with their accounts, commenting on their stuff. And I guess I could imagine that is just so satisfying and exciting, even if, a lot of people are just rage commenting, and asking them to shut the F up, asking them to quit it and stop with this nonsense, stop doing what you're doing. So I watched this conference and as I was nervous. As I was watching, I was nervous and I heard every cough. I, you know, I heard every gaffe. I heard every mistake in terms of little teeny mistakes, like calling a name wrong for a second. And, just I heard, and I was like, oh my gosh, Joe Biden is tired. Maybe even a little bit nervous because he's in front of people that he knows are out for blood. And he knows that there's nothing that he could do because they're going to be looking for everything that he does wrong. So no matter how many things he does right, there's nothing that he could do to satisfy these people and impress them enough to get positive reviews. They're gonna look for everything that he does and says wrong. And I am watching, and I have on mainstream media filters on my eyes, and instead of really listening to what he was saying, I was nervous for him. I'm noticing all the little stupid things. All the little stupid things that happens to me as a 42-year-old. That would happen to me as a 42-year-old if I was standing in front of a room full of people looking out for blood and picking at everything that I say wrong. It would make me nervous. And you have to be careful with your words. You have to think it through. You have to make sure you answer as carefully and thoughtfully as possible. You have to prove to these people how brilliant you are and how much you know. The test to qualify as a person that knows what they're talking about, that knows what they're doing, is extremely high. The standard that you have to live up to, and I would feel nervous and I would talk slowly and I would mess up. And as far as mistaken names, oh my gosh. As a mother of 5 children, sometimes I call every single child's name except the one that I'm trying to call their name. I get to their name, the actual name of the child, at the 5th attempt. I call everybody else's name. And I am a 42-year-old. I forget things. I forget words. I forget. I know that I know it, but I forget. While I'm talking to you and I made these videos, I'm like, shit, I can't remember that word. I forget things. And I'm 42. And this man is carrying the world on his shoulders. A lot of people use the term, you're carrying the world on your shoulders, but he is actually carrying the world on his shoulders. And the pressure that comes from that. And people are just picking at little stupid things like him saying the wrong name and pretending that those things matter, more than the actual important issues, the actual important stuff. And focusing on that. And I had to take off my mainstream media filters and be like, okay, I'm not looking at this through mainstream media's perspective. I don't give a fuck what they say. This is a brilliant man, and this is the right man for the right time. This is the right man to carry the world on his shoulders. And it's unfair for anybody to expect any younger politician, any younger person that might be a better speaker to carry this responsibility with the grief and the experience that Joe Biden has. And he is the right man for this moment. And the conversation of replacing him is the absolute stupidest thing that mainstream media is. That they're keeping that conversation going unnecessarily long and being aided and embedded by fellow Democrats and celebrity elites, and it's very annoying. So anyway, I made a decision. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not following anybody that has a headline or a post that says that is focusing on the fact that Joe Biden said Vice President Trump, and Joe Biden called Zelensky Putin for a second. Anybody that has headlines like that, anybody that's focusing on the wrong things, I'm not following them. Because I don't have any time for anybody's nonsense anymore. I don't need you. I don't need to feed into the attention that you need. You're focusing on the wrong things. And I'm not going to be a part of that, because you are causing me you're distracting me. And you're causing me to focus on the wrong things. You know, instead of listening to what this man was saying, I heard every cough, like I said, and every little gaffe and every little ramble, like when the words wouldn't come out clearly, you know. And I'm like, there is more to being a president than being an eloquent speaker and entertaining and putting on a show for media, and putting on a show for people. There is so much more. And if people, you know, I feel like it's media's responsibility to teach people that, to educate people, to have actual, fair, balanced, intellectual conversations. And I believe that this mainstream media, corporate media, is so intellectually dishonest. And if you listen to the answers, maybe don't listen. Maybe just read what he said. Read his answers if you don't want to listen, and hear what he said. If you replace Biden, whoever you replace Biden with have to start from scratch. And it would dampen the enthusiasm of the people who have already voted for Joe Biden, and the people who are working hard to reach out to people who are canvassing, who is doing the work for Joe Biden. And it is not fair to us. It is not fair to us who have been working on his behalf for years and was preparing for this moment. And it is undemocratic, and it is wrong, and it is not a genuine conversation. It is a distraction, and it went on for 2 weeks. You are trying to pressure this man into dropping out. And the only reason that corporate media would be doing that is because they want Trump. They're stupid, because whatever they think they can get from him, they're wrong. However they think it's going to work out for them, they're wrong. They're being stupid. And I am sick of these reporters and so-called journalists being complicit in that. It is self-serving vipers, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm not following these people, and I'm trying my best to take care of my energy and focus on what matters. And I feel like the thing that what we need to do is we need to stop expecting media and anything else outside of ourselves to do our work for us. Please start getting together with your people. Make phone calls. Contact people that you haven't in a long time. Go for lunch. Go for tea. Tell them what the conversation that you want to have is about. Have a conversation on the phone. Send an email. So ask them what they know. Tell them what you know. Start talking to your people. Start leaving your friends and your community and your people to rely on information from media alone. Tell them what you know. So thank you for listening. I just wanted to say that, and I didn't really say it as perfectly as I wanted to, but I hope that my point came across anyway. Blessings. Have a wonderful day. Hey everybody. So I just wanted to add a little bit more to that. Things that I didn't get to say when I was outside. Sometimes it's hard to remember all the things. But, from listening to these questions that these journalists asked, right? Especially the American journalists. The journalists with foreign accents, foreign journalists, I assume, they ask smart questions. They ask important questions. The American journalists ask the dumbest questions. They asked ridiculous questions, just focusing again on George Clooney and the Democratic apparent friends that are asking Joe Biden to resign. I don't think those are friends, and asking somebody asked a question. I don't think this was an American journalist though, but somebody asked a question about 3 years from now. I could tell you one thing. Joe Biden did promise that he would be able to handle this job 3 years from now. Honestly, to answer that question in an honest way, you would say, I can't tell you what's going to happen 3 years from now. I could tell you what I could do now. I could tell you what I'm capable of now. Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom and Gretchen Whitmore and Pete Buttigieg, nobody could tell you what what they're going to be doing or what they're capable of doing 3 years from now. They can tell you what they're capable of doing now. So that's a ridiculous question, And as far as the ongoing questions and questions and questions about Joe Biden resigning, it is a pressure campaign because he has responded over and over again. It has now come to the point where people are beating a dead horse. The reason that this man has to be defiant is because he knows within himself the bigger picture. He knows what we're dealing with. He knows what we need to be ready for. He knows that he is the right person for the job because at this point in time, you need a foreign policy president because foreign policy and domestic divide, like he said, are important issues in this moment. It is history repeating itself. America now has to recommit to its democratic values. It has to figure out the divide, between people who are for democracy and who are not for democracy. And it has to deal with wars and, again, getting and strengthening NATO and getting this world back in peace and balance and dealing with Putin. The person that is president right now has a lot of responsibility. And as he said in a very smart answer to one of the questions, about somebody asked about him saying that he promised that he would be the bridge. He is the bridge, but on his work isn't done. His time isn't done. One term was not enough. It got bigger. The issues got bigger. The world became more complicated, and it is so unfair of you guys to ask Kamala Harris to take that responsibility on her shoulders. You're asking Joe Biden, who knows his stuff, who knows how to deal with a moment like this, to step aside and let the young people deal with this problem. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? He is the bridge, but this is not the time. This is not the time for him to step aside. He has to finish the job. And I will do everything in my power to help him. And I will unfollow, like I said, anybody who distracts from that. I don't care. If you are a distraction, you are not beneficial to me at this time. So you need to get your shit together. So that's all I have to say. And thank you for watching this video.